গুড মর্নিং। আজকের আবহাওয়া খুব মেঘলা, একটু আগে বৃষ্টি হয়েছে। কালকে অনেক রাত হয়ে গেছে ফিরতে বুরসা থেকে। যাই হোক, আজকে আমরা সকালবেলা রেডি। আজকে আমাদের ট্যুর প্ল্যানটা ফার্স্ট হাফ হলো সিটি ট্যুর। তো হোল ডে সিটি ট্যুর, যেগুলো এখানকার মেন অ্যাট্রাকশনস ইস্তানবুলের, মেনলি হিস্টোরিক্যাল প্লেসেস অ্যান্ড মনুমেন্টস। অনেকটা ওই ব্যাপারে জানবো, অনেকটা ওটোমান ডাইনাস্টি বা এখানকার ডিফারেন্ট ডাইনাস্টি, এখানে গ্রিক, রোমান, ওটোমান তিনটে ডাইনাস্টি তারা মানে রাজ করেছে ডিফারেন্ট পিরিয়ড অফ টাইমে। তো সেখানে সেই জিনিসগুলো জানবো। তো আমরা এসে গেছি আমাদের ফার্স্ট ডেস্টিনেশন, উইচ ইজ দ্য টোপকাপি প্যালেস অ্যান্ড মিউজিয়াম। এটা অনেকটা বড়, তখনকার সুলতানের এটা প্যালেস ছিল। এটা এখন একটা বড় মিউজিয়াম। এটা ঘুরতে মোটামুটি 2 থেকে 2.5 ঘন্টা লাগে। তো সামনে আমাদের গাইড, আমাদের পেছনে টিম, আরো 8 জন আমাদেরকে জয়েন করবে। সো ইন আ গ্রুপ উই উইল রোম অ্যারাউন্ড। সো আস্তে আস্তে আমরা দেখবো টোপকাপি প্যালেস এন্ড মিউজিয়াম। এখন আমরা আস্তে আস্তে টোপকাপি প্যালেস দিয়ে শুরু করবো। এটা হচ্ছে সারাউন্ডিংসটা। This is the main entrance. Security is দাঁড়িয়ে আছে। So here we have এই গেটটা এন্ট্রি পয়েন্ট, আর এটাকে বলে ইম্পিরিয়াল গেট। এটা একটা ফাউন্টেন ছিল, যেটা সুলতান আহমেদ ফাউন্টেন বলা হতো। So bricks the architecture, typical Ottoman architecture, সুন্দরভাবে। This is the first courtyard. আর এখানে একটা চেক পয়েন্ট আছে।
The first settlement in this area, it was by Greek people, your grandfathers. Like they came here in the 7th century BC, and they built a small town. And the name of their town, with the name of their king Byzantium, they call it here Byzantium. And the Roman, they came here in the 1st century. It was still a small town. The town became popular with the King Constantine. Because the King Constantine, the Roman Empire was so huge that they divided Roman Empire as Eastern and the Western Roman Empire. And for Western Roman Empire, there was a capital city, Rome, in Italy now. And for Eastern Roman Empire, they didn't have nation. So they used to move from one place to the other. So King Constantine decided to build Byzantium as the capital city of Eastern Roman Empire. Then it took for him 4 years to build the city. Like he enlarged the hippodrome area, he built the new road. The Roman architecture is strong, so he built forum, and actually he tried to make a copy of Rome in Italy. Even he named the city as Nova Roma, New Rome. But people didn't call the city as Rome or New Rome. They called the city of Constantine because he built the city. Constantinopolis. Polis means city in Greek language. So even when the Ottomans, they came to the area, they used to call here Constantinia. So where did the Ottoman come? Ottoman, the origin of Turks are in the Mid-Asia, like Kyrgyzstan, Turkmenistan, Uzbekistan. So they moved to the Roman lands in the 11th century. And that time, they used to have a state, its name was Seljuks. Seljuks, yeah. And Osman or Ottoman, he was a person. He was a head of a tribe. He had his man, and he was responsible to protect the border of Seljuks. When Seljuks divided to small tribes or small states, Osman or Ottoman, he became an independent state as well. And they built Bursa as their capital city. It's a city in the east coast of Istanbul. And later they got more lands from the Romans. They got the city, it's called Edirne. They built Edirne as their second capital city. And finally, in 1453, the young Ottoman king Mehmed II, I have nothing to do with him, like Mehmed, but he got Constantinople. Like the Greek people say, they occupied. The Ottoman says, we conquered it. But whatever happened, like the administration of Constantinople like changed from Romans to the Ottomans. And the Ottoman state became Ottoman Empire after that time. And they built Constantinia or Constantinople as the capital city. And from 1453 till 1920s, it was the capital city of Roman Empire, Ottoman Empire. And later, what happened to the Ottoman? Just like Romans, they had rising and the falling time. And the falling time started in the 17th centuries, and they lost plenty of their lands. And when the World War I started in 1914, the Ottoman participated to the World War I. They were planning to get their lost lands back, but the plan didn't go the way they wanted, so they lost literally everything they had in 1918 when the World War I was over. Nothing left. And all Ottoman, lands, they've been divided by different countries, like Greece and Italy. British, we are not surprised, I'm sure, like Istanbul was ruled by British for about 4 years. And in 1919, one of Turkish leader is Mustafa Kemal Atatürk. Like he started a movement, it's called the War of Independence against the occupiers. And he succeeded. And he founded a new republic in 1923. And that is Republic of Turkey. So historically, we are linked with the Romans, we are linked with the Ottoman, but in terms of administration, no. Nothing to do with Romans or Ottoman. With the new Republic of Turkey, they changed the constitution. Like the Ottoman, they were the leader of Islamic world, but he brought the secular system to the constitution. He changed the alphabet. He changed the wearing, the clothing, like the education, everything in Turkish people's lives. And that's why it's called, Turkish Revolution. But Turkish Revolution was from top to the down, not like Western revolutions. The Western revolutions, they were from bottom to the top. That's why the Western revolutions are strong. And Turkish Revolution is a little bit weak. And Turkey, it has been ruled, like Turkey is a secular country. Like, in Istanbul, just in Istanbul, there are about 3,000 mosques. But at the same time, there are 157 churches as well. Istanbul is their Vatican for Greek people because they have their, central church here. And they're freely, they pray and they meet. And also, there are synagogues here. Like, there are 23 synagogues for Jewish community. So, the administration of Turkey, it has been more than 20 years. They are more conservative, you can say, more religious. But Turkish people, we are secular, respecting all religions, let's say. And of course, just like all the countries around the world, like we have up and down times, like the processes are going on, but still it's a young country. And we have borders with our neighbors, Greek people, and Bulgaria in the west part, on the land. And in the east, we have borders with Iran, Iraq, Syria. You see, like Bulgaria, Greece, and Iran, like opposite, and we are in the middle. That's why they say Turkey is a bridge. But not only geographically Turkey is a bridge, we are a bridge in terms of culture as well. Like whatever you look for in Barcelona, in Milan, you can find in Istanbul. But at the same time, whatever you look for in Mecca, Medina, Dubai, you can find in Istanbul as well. So in this term, it's a mixture of cultures, we can say. And basically, all the activities are in Istanbul. Like Istanbul is the center of Turkey, we can say, like export, import, and education, health, and many other things. But the capital city of Turkey is Ankara, with a population around 7 million people. And Istanbul is the largest city of Turkey with population more than 17 million people. And the population of Turkey is 85 million people, we can say, approximately. These are the official numbers. And King Mehmed II, he started building the palace in 1460, and they finished in 1478. It took 18 years for them to finish the palace. And in this courtyard of the palace, there used to be a bakery, a hospital, but nothing left. And there is a building behind me that is called Aya Irini. That Aya Irini is one of the rare churches that the Ottoman didn't convert to the mosque. And the reason, it is because there were many Christian ladies inside the palace in the harem section, so they used to come and pray here. So when it remained inside the palace, they didn't change, they didn't convert to the mosque. And we entered from the Imperial gate. Now we will continue to the second gate. Is called Babu Salam, or Saluting gate, we can say. Someone, like they used to, we had the person right in front of this gate, and they used to show the head of person for a few days to scare people, show the power of the king. And for this reason, there is a fountain behind the tree. It's called the Hangman Fountain, because they used to wash their swords there, like after the process. That's why, like we can say, it was functioning. There is a square in Paris, like for guillotine, like they used to do it. So it was functioning like that here, right in front of this gate. And there is one single entrance to the palace. And one king of Ottoman Empire till Wahdatin. In total, there are 36 kings. And some of them, they've been on throne, like 40 years. Some of them, they've been on throne for just 3 months. But in total, there are 36 kings. And 24 of them, they lived in this palace. 24 of Ottoman kings. The rest of them different places. And in Ottoman, always the big problem or the big event was the death of the king. Because when a king dies, they needed a new king. And for them, there wasn't a system like the Romans. They had senator, Romans. They used to select their king from the senator, some other, like the members. But in Ottoman, when the king died, the sons of king, they started fighting with each other. Just like in nature, who survives, that one is ruling. So for this reason, some kings, they used to kill their own brothers before they come to when they come to the throne, like before they are grown up, like at the age of 2, 3, 4, 5. Because when they are grown up, they are going to make trouble for them. And some of the kings, they exaggerated. Like one of the kings, that he killed 19 of his own brothers. 19, 19. And many of them, they were just 2 months, 5 months old babies. And even he killed 20 of his own sisters. Like, why sisters? But still, like, it was cruel. Even he killed 7 pregnant women inside the harem, that they were pregnant from his brothers. They were pregnant from his brother. So in Ottoman, the system was working like that. So because of his cruelty, his son, he changed this rule. He changed this rule, and he brought the oldest and the maturest one is going to be next king. No killing. But that time, there were many candidates waiting for their turn to be the next king. Like, they were not allowed to go out. They were inside the palace. For how long? Who knows? Like 5 years, 10 years. One of them, he waited 40 years to be the next king. Like Prince Charles in the UK. He was, like. And remember, like, you're saying, isolated from the real world for more than 40 years, like, I mean, you cannot really, have the full control of state of mind. So it happened in the Ottoman. Actually, all these reasons, they brought the Ottoman down and down and down, and finally, like the Ottoman went away. And the Ottoman kings, they didn't have queens. No queens. So why the harem was for? The harem was for full of ladies, just for the king, just producing babies. So they used to get the girls at the age of 11, 12, from the Christian countries, because they cannot take the Muslims as a slave. So they were training them. like teaching them, how to read and write, playing instruments, and many other details, And when they are ready, they were simply serving to the king. So he was going, picking up, like as much as he wanted. And if a girl gives birth to a child, she was becoming more important. If this child is a boy, she was becoming much more important.
এই হারেম থেকে যেহেতু সবাইকে বেরোতে দেওয়া হতো না, এখানেই সেই মেয়েগুলো থাকতো, এখানে তাদের জন্য মসজিদ এবং অনেক রকমের ফেসিলিটি। বলা হয় এই পুরো টোপকাপি প্যালেসে একসাথে 5,000-এরও বেশি লোক থাকতো সেই সময়।
And in the harem, they sometimes, like they needed some manhood power, like repairing, lifting, security. And they kept some men there, but they were all from Africa and all, like. And to make sure if something mistakenly happened, that's why if a lady gives birth to a child, that's why they kept Africans. If it is black, so it's not from the king, like that's the logic. So they were keeping them there. But lonely people, I don't feel sorry for them, but still, like the life from outside, I mean, when you look at their life, it looks bright, but when you go in, actually it's a kind of torture and big responsibility, we can say. So let's go and see the Imperial Council Hall, and I'll explain you about that area as well. Just make sure people can freely pass by. So, that is the Imperial Council Hall. They used to do the meeting here. I mean, the king was the only authority for sure, but he wasn't able to get all decisions on his own. 25 million square meters. He cannot rule on his own. So, the Vizier, Grand Vizier, we can say it was a kind of parliament building, consists of the ministries. They used to meet here 4 times in a week. Like the Grand Vizier was leading the meeting, and the left side is for recording, to taking notes. The king, he wanted to have the full control. He was not attending to the... So,
The king used to observe from there.
yeah, he was observing, not talking. If he didn't like the way someone told, he was throwing the curtain. That means the meeting is over. Some of you most probably will go to the front door. It happens, in the history. You can get pictures here, and then we'll move to the club section. Maybe. But I never felt happy when I passed through. And it is called because they used to do the celebrations in front of this gate, like the wedding ceremony of the king's daughters. And sometimes they used to do the saluting army, because the Ottoman, they were the leader of Islamic world, they were Khalifa. They were carrying the flag of Prophet Muhammad and Islam. And when they were doing the ceremony, they were putting flag in front of the gate. And when they removed the flag, they used to put the stone. Right now, they still do the tradition. That's why it's circular, to show their respect, like make sure that no one will step in place of the flag. That's why they continue. And it's beautifully decorated, as you see. So the section on the right side, like that is the clothing section, like the outfits of the palace members, we can say they show it. Right next to the outfit section, the jewelry section. I guess this section is much more interesting for the ladies, especially. You can see the diamonds and the gold, and the spoonmaker diamond, very famous diamond. That is the 4th largest diamond in the world. It is exacted. It's in this section, and also the dagger, Topkapi dagger, is also beautifully decorated, and many other items full of gold and diamond. That's the next section on the left side. And when you pass through, like in front of you, there's a kind of tunnel that's passing way, that you will see the view of Bosphorus. And there is a building there, single building, is called Mejidiye Pavilion. Like that is the last section it has been ever added to the palace, we can say. And when you go to the left, that you will be able to see the view of Golden Hall on the left side, just in the courtyard. And when you are back, the white building in the middle is the library, just if you like to see. And also on the left side of library, there is a holy relic section. That section is usually more important for the Muslim tourists because you can see the things they belong to the Prophet Muhammad, like things from Mecca and Medina, the handwriting, the Quran and whatever. So if you are interested in that, you may visit there as well. And the building right in front of us, it's called Audience Hall, like the entrance is on the right side. That was functioning a kind of reception that the king he was accepting his visitors in this section. And also the Grand Vizier was coming here to get the final decision of the king after the meeting in the Imperial Council, we can say. And when you take the exit, on the left side, you see the kitchens. There you may visit that as well.